So in light of Corbyn announcing that Labour will be supporting a second Brexit referendum just to stop a Tory Brexit, I wanted to discuss with you guys why the Brexit vote actually happened, why we voted to leave the European Union with a slight majority. The people, the working people, the poor people, the average Joe of this country, if you will, has been left behind. And they are tired. They are sick and tired of politicians, corrupt and greedy, lining their own pockets, claiming expenses for anything from hobnobs to second homes. They're tired of bankers giving themselves luxurious bonuses and then when the banks collapse, having to pay for it. They're tired of rich, Eton-educated, posh snobs being green-lighted, being completely, parachuted in to this life of luxury and life in politics and running the country, while they have to graft and grind to earn everything that they have in this world. They have to go out, wake up at 5:30 in the morning, come to work for 7, work all the way through to 6 p.m. and then go home at 7 again. They have to do that just to earn enough to pay their bills, just to earn enough to keep a roof over their head, just to stack the cupboards, just to put clothes on their backs and their kids' backs. They don't have all the luxuries that the rich boys are taught, that they know from birth. They don't have any of that. This was about people being fed up of being taken for a mug, being taken for a ride, being taken as a given, that these poor peasants are going to support us and they're going to support our lives and they're going to bail out the banks for us and they're going to pay their taxes while we're kept in the high life. They're sick of that, especially since Thatcher. Thatcher onwards, ever since Thatcher came to power, politics as a whole has shifted towards that attitude. The attitude of looking after the working classes, looking after the poor man, giving him what he needs to survive and have a good life, has gone completely. Thatcher completely took that away. Even Blair, when he came into power, a so-called Labour Prime Minister, had many of the same ideals that Thatcher had. And he also implemented many of the things that we are seeing now being extended under the new Tories, under Cameron and May. So this was about working class people fed up to the back teeth of politicians, pretty boys, posh boys, bankers, bureaucrats, corporations taking the piss. That's what it was about. Now, many people might tell you, I voted Brexit because I'm sick of the immigrants. That's the standard reason, isn't it? That's the reason that many people are assumed to have voted to leave the European Union. But that's not entirely true. When someone says to you, I'm sick of immigrants taking all the homes, what you should be hearing is, I'm sick of there being no homes. When someone says, I'm sick of foreigners taking all the jobs, you should be hearing, I'm sick of there being no jobs. When someone says, I'm sick of all these foreigners coming over claiming benefits, you should be hearing, I'm sick of a welfare system that doesn't pay me what I need to live a dignified life. That's what you should be hearing. Ignore the immigration, ignore the foreigner part of it, any of that, because all that is these people, certain people, a lot of people actually, are swallowing the stuff that's being fed to them. And you see it everywhere. Any paper you pick up, any paper, Sun, the Mail, the Telegraph, Express, any of them, pick them up and you will see day after day after day after day after day of peddling lies and peddling bollocks about foreigners, Muslims, Europeans, Asians, etc., etc., etc. Because these papers, and 80% of the media in this country is owned by about 6 or 7 billionaires that are based in corporate tax havens. Who's responsible for most of the problems that this country has? The rich and the powerful, who are by and large based in corporate tax havens. So these people and their friends, and they don't want you to blame them. If that layer of scapegoat, that layer of protection wasn't there, the working class's entire anger would be directed at them and their friends in politics and their friends in corporations. As it is, speak to any working class person, even if they don't like immigrants or whatever, even if they're quite right wing, they will tell you politicians are greedy, they're corrupt, they're in it for themselves, they learn their own. So there is an element of anger. It does exist. There is an element of anger in these people towards the privileged, the elite, the well-off, if you will. There is an anger there, but it's just being sidetracked, being knocked aside and diverted towards people that are immediately available. You can't get in touch with an MP immediately, very, very easily. You can write them a letter or whatever, they can just ignore you. But you can come face to face with an immigrant or a foreigner or a Muslim or an Asian and say it's your fault, you're the problem, you're the one that's making me not have a house, not have any benefits that are worth shit, not having any job that's sustainable. You can do that. So all the rich and powerful are doing are giving you someone who is easily accessible, easy to blame, and you can actually confront these people face to face in the street and blame them and take your frustration out on them. That is all that is happening. And you can't blame people for falling for it. These people are angry. They want somebody to have a go at. They want somebody to scream at in the street. They want somebody to punch and assault. And I'm not saying punching somebody or assaulting them or even screaming at them in the street is acceptable. It's not. But these are what people are doing to vent their frustrations at someone else. So you can't really get angry at these people for doing that, because they're being downtrodden, they're being treated like a doormat, they're being walked all over, workers' rights are disappearing, 0-hour contracts, minimum wage, no living wage, etc, etc, etc. Housing crisis, the housing market is being shuffled away to the private sector. Landlords are charging ridiculously high rents in some cases, etc. All these luxury penthouses are being built for all the nice rich people to come and live. Look at Grenfell Tower. Burned down because they wanted to save money. They didn't want to spend money on the poor people. They wanted to build some condos over here for the lovely rich people, and Grenfell Tower was just an eyesore. So they didn't care about that. That's what happened. And then the rich, the powerful, the politicians, the corporations, etc. will tell you that the problem in Grenfell Tower was because it was full of foreigners, full of migrants. Who the hell cares? They were human beings, they died. But they don't want you to think about that. They don't want you to think, you know what, I'm black, you're white, or I'm white, you're black. Let's come together, we're both poor, let's come together and aim our anger at them. They don't want that. In fact, in America, this was in a book I'm reading right now about fascism and how it works and how it manipulates people and takes their anger and harnesses it. And it says in America, I did not know this until I actually read it. In America, after the Civil War, which effectively abolished slavery in America, there was a period called the Reconstruction in which black citizens took up positions in government, local government, state government, even in Congress. And then effectively that was quickly slapped out. And then the Jim Crow laws came into being, which Martin Luther King would end up fighting to get abolished anyway. But what that was, they told people at the time, they told the country at the time that the blacks couldn't govern, they were corrupt, they were greedy, they were lining their own pockets. So that's why we took that away. It's now widely understood that the wealthy, privileged classes of America didn't want the black poor and the white poor coming together and threatening their position. So don't be angry if you see someone saying they voted Brexit because of immigrants. That isn't the underlying reason. That's all. I'll see you next time.